You ever wanted a blend of the social aspects of Persona while also having the combat elements of Devil May Cry? Well, do I have the game for you. Eternights is a dating sim action hack and slash RPG developed and published by a small indie company called Studio Sai. Eternights was a solo indie developer's personal project, and almost all of it was completed by one person, and that to me is so impressive, especially how amazing this game came out. This game got a prominent spot during Sony's State of Play from June 2022, and it definitely caught my eye. Hey, when you say RPG, you could definitely count me in for it. Hi guys, my name is Peter, aka King Exodus, and in today's video, we're going to be reviewing Eternights. And just to remind you, I do scale from 1 to a 10, with 1 being horrible and 10 being an all-time classic. So let's stop stalling, let's kick off that intro, and let's jump into some Eternights. The story of Eternights begins with the main protagonist and his best friend Chani attempting to get a date and find love on a dating app. While in the background of your conversations, you see a promo for an anti-aging drug called Eternite and a promo for a pop star's concert. Before the main protagonist goes to bed, Chani links him a new dating app which, lucky for him, finally nets him a sweet yacht date for the next day. While on the train to your date, the world falls into destruction and big walls start to form, and humans start turning into horrific monsters. These monsters are being created by an evil architect that wants to bring the end of the world. Chani and you end up in a bunker shelter with the hopes of being safe for as long as y'all can be. You start to hear some noises outside your bunker and you peek out to investigate, and with your luck, you run into the pop star from the TV, Yuna. With the monsters getting more aggressive and losing poor Yuna's friend in the process, you three set your sights for the exit of this shelter. When you guys finally escape, you are stopped by a weird looking chick that captures you three using her sword and chops your right arm off. Right before you think you're about to die, you finally have your yacht date, but it's not what you think. The chick from the app is actually an opposing architect named Lux, and she fills you into the impending doom Earth is in, granting you powers and a new glowing arm which can transform for combat, in turn entrusting you and your friends with the power to save the world from destruction. Traveling in train for the duration of the journey, this 5-act game will run you roughly 13 hours and 18 to 20 if you're looking to attain the platinum trophy. Before you take on the challenges ahead though, you must grow your power. And like Persona, your power comes from your Confidants. In Eternights, you have 5 main Confidants that will join your team. First two are the first 2 people that jump into the train with you in the beginning of the game. Chani, your childhood best friend, and Yuna the pop star. Along the way, you'll meet Sai, the intense science fan, Min, the shy athlete, and Johan, the dreamy guy. All Confidants except Chani are capable of being romanced, and that comes as you hang out more and more with each of them, and having the corresponding social stat raised. For example, Yuna emphasizes the expression social link, and the higher that stat is, the quicker you could get through her social ranking. I think that's where Eternights shines. The social ranking stories and character development is perfectly written, and even the writing of the story, as a lot of times games like these tend to lean too much into that cheesy and cringe writing, and Eternights doesn't, and deserves an applause for it. Plus, the more you hang out with your Confidants, the more powerful you can become in battle. There's also a set amount of time you get to raise your social ranking, as this game does have an in-game calendar system which progresses through activities you choose to do or going into dungeons, but you can only progress your social rankings during the daytime, so be wise with your time. Being a hack and slash game, combat is pretty straightforward. Your arm becomes a sword in combat which you use to attack, and as opponents attack you, using a perfect dodge that's perfectly timed can slow down time for you to attack and help you hit combos, especially on those tougher to hit monsters. Timing perfect dodges and getting hits in raise your elemental gauge and allows you to get off an elemental attack with light, electric, fire, and ice affinities being associated to your Confidants. These elemental attacks are important as some monsters, especially bosses, will have barriers which will have an elemental weakness that you must break through before you can start to wither down its health. There's also some confidant skills that you can use, like Yuna's healing powers or Min's defensive powers. Combat at times can become quite repetitive and stale, as most fights consist of you raising your gauge, break down a barrier, and onto the next group of monsters. There's some very powerful attacks you can learn as you progress your skill tree and your confidant skills as well. The way to unlock these skills is using black and white essence that are collected during your playthrough. Black essences are used on your skills, and those are collected by killing tougher monsters and floating around in dungeons. White essences are used on your confidant skills, and those are collected by either doing trainings with your friends, which are minigames based around what your friends specialize in, or scavenging at night with your friends looking for everyday essentials they need. I will also highlight the dungeons, which all have their own design and look surprisingly well. In every dungeon, they also have some puzzles that are not very difficult, but are quite fun to solve. Boss fights though lack some real originality. The big fight versus Dahlia and the Architect are highlights, but aside from them, all boss fights are just bigger monsters from the dungeons, which will lead to some of that repetitiveness that I spoke of. Overall, Eternights does a lot of things right, from the story, the character writing, and the level design. Its weaknesses are quite apparent, as it has a lot of great ideas that it doesn't quite execute on, but it's a short and sweet RPG that doesn't overstay its welcome. Now I think it's time to put a score on the Eternights, and personally I think it's a good game, it's fun, but it's just not great. So with that being said, I give it a 7 out of 10. Do you plan on playing Eternights? And if you have, let me know what you thought of my score. Put it in the comments down below, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this game. And if you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel for more gaming content, like my review on Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which should be right here, or what YouTube thinks you might like from my channel. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, your boy King Exodus is out.